Welcome back. Today we're discussing Chicago labor history and the Haymarket Riots with Bill Adelman. When we last left off, there's been an organized rally to be held here in Chicago,
Right.
May 1st, 1886.
Right. Well, it was going to be, originally it was going to be a big march.
Okay.
Originally we thought the only march was the one led by Albert Parsons and his wife Lucy and their 2 children, 80,000 people marching up Michigan Avenue. Recently, the Newberry Library and other places have done some research, and there were actually dozens and dozens of marches all over the city, not just that big one.
Okay.
That scared the business community half to death.
Certainly.
They said that people ran back to their homes on Rush Street or on the other parts of the city and closed their blinds in fear that there was going to be a workers' rebellion. On May 2, there was a big demonstration in Lakefront Park, now Grant Park.
Okay.
And Lucy Parsons, the African-American wife of Albert, organized that. Then on May 3, which was a Monday, there'd been one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and now Monday, August Spies is invited to a rally organized by the Lumber Workers Union at the McCormick Reaper plant.
Okay.
So he goes over there, and what he doesn't realize is that the audience is mostly Polish and Bohemian. And he speaks several languages, but he doesn't speak those languages. So he gets up on top of a railroad car, tries to speak to them. The shift changed at 3 o'clock at the McCormick Reaper plant, and Captain Bonfield and hundreds of policemen arrived and started shooting at the striking workers. And many left the rally that Spies was organizing and went over there. Spies saw this. He was horrified to see American workers being shot down. He ran back to his office and his newspaper office on Wells Street, and he wrote an article about this. And that night in one of the union halls, a group met and decided to have a meeting to protest police brutality on May 4th. So this is the day after that.
The day after that.
So this is so that rally was going to be.
So you'd had a weekend of rallies and
demonstrations,
marches leading up to
things going
May
on
4th.
all over the place.
Okay.
So the next event was going to, of course, be on Tuesday, May 4, and it was totally disorganized. They printed 20,000 flyers to announce the meeting. Only 2,500 people showed up. The mayor, a very good mayor, Carter Harrison, gave permission for the meeting, so it was legitimized.
Okay.
And but when it was supposed to start at 7:30, nobody was there, and the speakers were there. So Spies, who arrived about 8 o'clock, rushed around looking for somebody. He thought Albert Parsons might be there. He could speak in English. Spies usually spoke in German. So he couldn't find him. So by 8:30, he realized he had to be the speaker. Now, there used to be a streetcar that ran on Randolph. Spies was afraid that the police would attack, even with the permit from the mayor, if they blocked the streetcar. So he pulled the audience out of Haymarket Square onto Desplain Street between Lake and Randolph.
Okay.
And so the Haymarket meeting did not take place in Haymarket Square.
Okay.
It took place there. And there was a wagon sitting there, like a equivalent of a truck today, in front of the Crane Plumbing Factory. And he got onto that wagon and began to speak. Now, he spoke from 8:30 to 9. He then asked a friend to look for Parsons. They found Parsons downtown with his wife and his little children, 4 and 6.
Without cell phones or pagers.
No, they got over there.
They got him, okay.
And he also, Reverend Fielden, a Methodist lay preacher, was there at the meeting. He was a treasurer. It wasn't even Parsons' meeting, it was Lucy's meeting of women sewing workers. She was trying to get them better conditions and better wages. Albert was babysitting for the 2 kids. So he comes over with the kids, and then he speaks from 9 to 10. He's a very brilliant speaker. The mayor hears him. The mayor says that it's a nonviolent meeting. He goes to the police station a half a block away on Desplains, tells the police to go home. But Captain Bonfield, who was known as Shoot to Kill or Blackjack Bonfield, is there, and he's got 176 policemen armed to the teeth with Winchester repeater rifles and Colt-like revolvers. And he pays no attention to the mayor. The mayor goes home, and then they keep waiting until the mayor's out of sight, and then they come marching at about 10:25. And they demand that the crowd, in the name of the state of Illinois, disperse. There's only 200 people left by this time.
Okay.
And then suddenly a bomb flies through the air and lands in the front line of the police, where the workers had been only seconds before. Because as the police moved forward, the crowd moved toward Lake Street, getting as far away as possible. Albert Parsons was gone. He'd gone a half a block down the street to get out of a possible rainstorm. This is May 4th. It had been a beautiful night. Then suddenly, and we all know from Chicago weather, things can change very, very
Certainly.
fast. And this cold breeze, and it looked like it was going to rain, came off of Lake Michigan. So Albert had taken his wife and his kids to Zeff's Hall on the next
And
corner.
this is significant because these people who weren't even there
They
would
weren't
later
even there.
have to pay the price.
Oh,
for
I
it.
mean, there were people that were 3 miles away.
The bomb goes off.
Right. The bomb goes off. One policeman, his shrapnel cuts an artery. He dies instantly. Other policemen, in the panic, start just shooting back and forth. And we believe that the other policemen that were killed were shot by their own men. It's interesting that they're only...
It truly was a riot.
Oh,
I mean, once this bomb went off, total chaos, mayhem,
police
it's
riot.
nighttime.
Now, this had happened before. I mean, it happened the day
That was my
before.
next question, right.
And you'd had, a year before, there was a streetcar strike, and the police had opened up. In 1877, 31 men, women, and children were killed by the police at 16th and Halsted. So there'd been a whole series of things like this.
Certainly.
This wasn't the first one.
Certainly 4 days of tension leading up
Right,
to this
right.
moment. Something was bound to happen.
And
here.
you have to remember is that the mayor, and he was a very good mayor, Carter Harrison, he was having terrible trouble with the police department because they were not following his orders, but the orders of businessmen. George Pullman, Marshall Fields, Crane, and people like that, who wanted to get rid of the labor movement. And so this was a very difficult thing for him. He went into workers' neighborhoods and he tried to speak their languages, and he was a very good
And I guess
mayor.
a lot of, I mean, from what leads on to there is it's not clear who threw the bomb or
No,
where the
well,
bomb came from.
There are
or-
like 35 different theories on who threw the bomb.
But the point of the
And-
matter
but
is
we do
now
not
you
know.
have an impetus and a reason to really crush and
Right.
get down on open protests and
Right,
striking
martial
workers.
law is declared in Chicago. 2 people standing on a corner constituted a riot, and you could
Really
arrest them.
changes everything. Actually, we have to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Stephen Ashby and continue our conversation. This is your city, Chicago. But what's going on in your neighborhood? Do you have a topic you'd like to see discussed on our program? If you do, send us an email at 26nhalsted@wciu.com, or you can mail us at 26 North Halsted Show, 26 North Halsted Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60661. We're here for you, Chicago.